Welcome back to Fire and Smoke, New Ronne. We are Philip,
Abby,
Blake, Ethan,
also known as Dungeon Master.
Avis Merlot,
Devin Merlot,
Neil.
On the last episode, the old-timers made their way underground, leaving Queen Maud behind to make their way into an access tunnel that led to a service elevator, some kind of mining elevator to go deep under the ground here, deep under Queen Maud. Devin, just before this, you had a dream of some kind where you were making your way to the elevator with people and hooking yourself in with some kind of tether or rope or something to the service elevator before it descended down. When the four of you made your way there, you see that part where the tethers had been was broken off and wasn't there. You didn't think too much of it, but as you all started to descend, you were passing by floodlights in the carved out rock, and it was alternating between light and dark when you were in between lights. And during darkness, something changed, and you all found yourself at the next light, standing alone in the elevator. Avis, Devin, Neil, presumably the kid as well. Avis had a conversation with her son, Milo, a version of Milo that was older and seemingly in a prison cell. Devin had a conversation with a version of the stranger, seemed like a much more grounded human person who had just arrived to the thawed Antarctic sometime in a far, far future with the ruins of New Ronne around them. Neil had a conversation with somebody he didn't know, one Cassius Reeds, who was traveling a desolate, dark wasteland. Through it all, they learned a little bit more about their various situations, and all were asked why they were down here. What were they doing down here? What did they want? Some questions were answered, and you all made your way back into the open door of the service elevator, through darkness traveling downward until the next light at the bottom. You all found yourself standing together again. The metal doors of the elevator slid, rattling open, revealing darkness, stone tunnels, cave system, cavernous, and you all joined hands, stepping out of the elevator onto the stone into the darkness. And that's where we are now. You all look around the darkness. It's lit dimly by the soft glow of various little lights on Neil. You could, if you'd like, take out an electric torch to light this place up.
we all have electric torches, or is it just Neil that has one?
I think Neil might have a couple. I'm sure one of you guys was holding on to one. I'll say it's very cold down here. You can see your breath in front of you.
Can Neil see his breath?
No.
Rats. Well, he'll pass one flashlight to Avis, and he'll keep one, and turn them on, and they can all, the four of them, start walking. Are we still holding hands?
Yes.
Okay, we all hold on to each other. No one's gonna get sucked into the darkness again, have a weird vision.
You guys step out of the elevator, holding hands, holding on to each other. Neil, you root around in your pack and pull out the 2 electric torches, battery powered, just like your fuel cells. You hand one to Avis, and you're all standing here in the cold as lights turn on.
So, kid, what did you see?
Neil's worried that it's awkward positionally, so he's like, do you two want to, he's like gesturing for the kid and Devin to switch spots?
No, we're fine.
Well, we can kind of form like a circle, right? Like a huddle almost.
All right, Neil circles
Oh.
around then. So we're all facing each other.
Kid looks down a little bit. He thinks for a moment, and then while he's still holding both of your hands, he begins to change. In the time that you guys had been staying in Queen Maud after the fight, when you were sleeping curled up in private, he had kind of dropped the guise and felt more comfortable, looking like his neutral form. Sunken, milky white eyes, tall, lanky, bulbous, gray skin. Now that you're down here, apparently the only souls under the earth, and after you just asked him who he talked to, you see him contemplate something with a frown, and then he changes into his neutral form. I talked to the admin, but it wasn't like the guy we fought. He looked pretty bad. He looked like he wasn't sleeping well, and he had like a scraggly beard. He was slurring his words a bit. He looked a little disheveled. And we were somewhere else. We were like back in New Ronne. So I don't know. It was me, but some other time, sometime between where we found the Lord Admin now.
And what did you talk about?
You see, he still looks a little reserved, and he says, we just talked, like, about me, about us, about what life is like and stuff. I don't know. It's not important. It wasn't, he didn't give any, like, crucial information or anything. So we don't have to, we don't have to, like, talk about it. But, like, yeah, it sounds like we all talked to different people.
I get it. Talking to a version of yourself probably isn't easy. Probably even harder to talk about with us.
He kind of nods. That was really weird, guys.
Yeah, I kind of want to apologize a little bit, I guess. Back there, before we took the elevator, and I was saying that stuff about the tether, I don't really know how it happened, but I must have had some sort of vision or something from someone in the past that had used the elevator, and I think they must have had the tether to prevent that sort of thing from happening. I guess in hindsight, maybe I should have pushed for us to make some sort of makeshift tether or something. At least we all came out the other side.
Kid thinks for a second, and then he says, you had a vision of miners coming down here?
Either a miner or some researcher, or I'm not quite sure.
Avis, you swing the electric torch around, lighting up the area, and you're seeing a cave system. It's odd. It looks like it's been mined into a wider tunnel, excavated. There are some supports supporting the ceiling, the rock above. There's a pickaxe leaning up against the wall, discarded, long covered in dust, untouched for who knows how long. It looks like pretty uniform gray rock, but in the distance, at the edge of the light, it looks like the rock changes. As this tunnel starts from the elevator shaft, the rock is gray with some veins of various minerals or simple things throughout. In the distance where the light reaches, it looks like it turns into a deep black, and there is some more evidence of mining equipment over there. It doesn't look like there's anywhere else to go here.
So we back in the mine.
We're just in like a cavern?
So we back in the mine, trying to find some diamond tonight. Diamonds tonight.
So you said the material changes, like of the rock?
It looks like it changes in total. Like all around the tunnel suddenly changes to a dark black stone.
Obsidian.
Is it obsidian? Is it glassy?
It looks very matte, but it's also on the edge of the light. It would take, it's like 100 feet away from you guys.
Probably like basalt.
Well, let's go over there and let's take that pickaxe.
And swing it side.
We all
to
in
side.
a chain holding hands go over to where the black rock starts.
You walk up to the edge of this black material. Inexplicably, it's a very sudden change. There's a fine line differentiating the regular stone from this material. It's not a gradient. It doesn't meld. It is separate. The black rock is porous. It's full of holes as you're holding torches over it, kind of like coral. It does continue to be cavernous. Like this tunnel continues forward, but in a more natural way, crisscrossing tunnels with sweeping rock formations like supporting it. It looks like maybe a lava tube or something weird. It's unclear. On the edge here where you are, there's a couple more pickaxes that look like they've been actively used recently. And there's a lot of evidence where the tunnel support stopped. There's no more evidence of mining beyond this point, right, into that black rock. It looks like a more natural formation. Right on the edge here, it looks like a lot of stone at the meeting point between this black material and the regular stone has been like broken and carved away with pickaxes to reveal more of it. And it looks like little tiny chips of this black material have been broken off. But it's confined here to the edge, and it looks like they were just scratching the surface and breaking off little pieces, is kind of what you guys gather.
I'm gonna grab one of the pickaxes and try to give it like a little test pick to see if like this dark rock is much harder or more difficult to like scratch and chip than the regular rock.
You swing down. It is a lot harder. Like it does not crack or budge even with your enhanced strength. Your joints whirring as you swing down with your arms.
But you said it was recently used? How recent is recent?
You guys were told that the right hands would be sent through the vents to access this place to get raw material or something that kept the functionality of the timers active, kept them working. You also discovered something about the discovery of the energy or whatever the United identified here and made this a secret base was deep beneath the earth. It looks like this strange material is maybe what was being sought after, and it looks like a mine was set up, but only very tentatively explored.
I guess nowhere to go but forward?
Yeah. Hand in hand.
Hand in hand. Is it wide enough for us all to go side by side?
You can probably keep your hands linked if you'd like. There's probably some areas where you might have to like human chain your way through. It gets wider and smaller ahead in areas. You're not quite sure until you go in.
All right, we're doing this kindergarten style.
Who's the leader?
I would like to be the leader because I
Yeah.
have like
That's what I
60
was-
health.
I feel comfortable with that.
I made of metal, so I'll
Yeah.
go first.
You guys step over this threshold, seemingly a natural one, with no additional checks or any requests for additional information. You guys step in and through. And I cannot believe that you all decided to hold hands. That's crazy.
Well,
Why?
What a
That's
crazy
safe.
decision.
Well, Philip, we immediately got separated, and then after being separated, we're like, we gotta hold hands.
There was a missing tether
actually
plan.
2 separate times in this campaign. You've separated us based on location and
Uh-huh.
proximity to each other. We had to be safe.
And we did some like base level deduction, you know, physically without checks with the pickaxe and such.
That's true. Unrelated to holding hands, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like we're prepared to face.
Of course,
whatever
we're gonna hold
this is
hands.
together.
I can't believe you guys chose to make that decision on a whim with no like additional information for me. You step forward past the threshold and walk into this dark black cave tube thing. Maybe it's after a couple steps. Maybe somebody just has a fleeting notion of like checking behind them, like making sure there are no problems, making sure nothing's gone wrong, there's nothing weird going on. Kid says, as perhaps he's the one looking back, guys,
I look back to follow his gaze.
Yeah.
you turn around with the electric torch and you guys are looking around. And now behind you, back in that direction of the cave, is more of the black material. All the way as far as you can see, more of the natural formations, no evidence of the pickaxes or mining or wooden beam supports or the elevator, anything in the distance. Just more of the same cave you saw ahead, now behind you as well.
That's frightening. Do we want to keep walking for a little bit and see if it stops on its own?
I
Or?
was going to say, should we go back and see if it's just a visual, like a trick on the mind type thing?
I'm down to start moving backwards with Avis at the lead, and now we're just turning around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just a small
Okay.
sanity check. See
Yeah.
if we go back. Are we now out of the black stuff?
Maybe if we turn around and go back, the stuff in front of us will turn into the destination.
Oh.
Now that we're not looking at it.
That's true.
Okay.
We have to walk backwards.
For as far as you guys want to go, as low as you want your heart to sink, you can walk backwards and not make it back to the area you just stepped from. You're walking through this deep black stone rock material in this natural tube cave system. It's very cavernous, and you're walking through and you can't see any evidence of the place you came from. As you're looking around while you're walking a short distance, this place looks like it's a bit crisscrossing. It's not like one long tunnel. You're seeing branches off in other potential directions. It looks like an ant colony, but just up to a size where you feel mostly comfortable all walking through. Devin and Neil, you're big people, and so sometimes you feel like you're having to duck your head a little bit. You can't all walk shoulder to shoulder, but you guys aren't crawling on hands and knees. It looks like there's just branching tunnels in no clear path or direction. This place is not man-made, and there is no clear indication of where you should go or what you should do.
Do the intersections also like disappear when we look back?
Why don't you make an investigation check?
No.
It's a good thought to have. You can make it with advantage.
It's a 19.
As you're walking through with some trial and error, looking over your shoulder, even while observing it, as you move as a group through this place, you're like looking at a tunnel behind you that you passed. And as you move, it eclipses closed and the rock changes in different shape. You're seeing those natural supports or the things where rock is connected like change and meld as well. What you can see changes, morphing without sound, without weight, without reverberation into a different tunnel system than what you were looking at before. Also, Neil, just because you specifically rolled an investigation check, taking in your surroundings with any sensation that you have, besides just your camera eyes, you're not getting many readings about anything, but there is a strange feeling of power. And I think you notice that your fuel cell, the ones that last a few weeks and you do eventually have to replace things you traded with for the shipper to bring you more of, is slowly topping off and going up in power. Your batteries are being refueled.
So my two big theories are either that we're jumping between like alternate times of what the tunnel could have been and it could have formed differently, or we're jumping past and future. But I don't know what to do about that. Like, that's not a solution. That's just the problem that we're in.
Or we're perceiving different points in time without noticing. Like, we started walking into the tunnel and then we looked back and all of a sudden the entrance isn't there anymore. But actually we were walking for like an hour and we just didn't notice.
That could also be it. But surely that means that all we can do is walk forward. And we'll get there much sooner or later than we should, right?
Yeah, I don't know what other options we have.
You see Kid says, "Guys, what's happening? This is freaking me out."
Everything's under control. Devin, tell him what's happening with the tunnel.
Kid, as far as I know, we got no clue what's going on, but I think it's going to be okay. And Neil's going to tell you what we should do.
The kid turns to you, Neil.
We're gonna walk faster. So we walk faster, and then he looks to Avis for help.
Why don't we just keep going? Like, why are we going to dwell on it, you know?
As you guys all walk faster. You should all make a perception check.
8.
11.
Nat 20. No need to clap.
Yeah. At 20.
Ethan, you sound a little bit salty.
What are the odds of that? Math people, get in the comments.
Let us know. You might think it's 1 in 20, but actually 3 of us rolled. So it's a little higher than that.
Neil, Avis, as you're walking, the 4 of you are all still holding hands, and you're just hearing echoing footsteps. You are passing all these different branching paths, possible places you could go. It's not even like you're going in a straight line and there are branching places to go off. It's just like crisscrossing tunnels. It's hard to even find a straight line to go down. You're just walking forward. And those footsteps sound a bit odd. They sound echoed and amplified and also offbeat sometimes. And you're not sure why. Devin, you are hearing a little more in the distance as you all are walking around. Little snippets of voices or a clank of something being dropped somewhere farther away. But it's not consistent. If you try to lead the group to go in a direction to find those things, it's not like you're getting closer to louder sounds. It's just stuff always in the distance, on the periphery. You're confused about what this means, and something happens that probably doesn't help the confusion, but just gives you a more concrete example. You see somebody and can point out for the rest of the group as you're all standing still at a crossroads of a few different paths to go through these tunnels, a little bit up and a little bit out in the distance where the edge of the light reaches. There's a person. There's this person that looks like they might be dressed as a miner, or they are a miner, like somebody who came down here with a pickaxe. They're covered in dirt. It looks like they have a little belt on holding up their dark canvas overalls, and wrapped throughout that belt is like a rope or something of black material. It's hanging down from their side, and it has been severed at some point. They lock eyes with you as you point that person out to the group, and their eyes go wide, and you see their face looks a little bit thin and a little bit haunted, and their eyes light up as they see you, and they take like 2 steps forward towards you, and as they walk towards you, they just eclipse out of view in the middle of the open tunnel. Not like something moved in front of them, not like they were getting cut off by something, not like they teleported away. Like it's a waning thing that happens over the course of like half a second. It's like they rounded a corner out of your view, even though they were walking straight at you and just weren't visible anymore. Like they went somewhere else.
Okay.
And all of you see that because Devin pointed that person out to you on his perception. Kid grips tighter to both of your hands, Devin and Avis, and he even like moves them up a little bit more, so he's kind of like holding arms with the 2 of you.
There's no safe way to construct some sort of like tether between each of us.
I wouldn't want to let go even for a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Devin, you saw the person was wearing like a rope around their waist that was tied, but it looks like it was hanging and had been cut off. And you just think about the elevator having a point where tethers tethered to, and how the mining stopped at the very edge, like they were barely scratching the surface of this place. And the moment you stepped through, you were immediately lost beyond comprehension.
So the tether wasn't for the elevator. It was for this. I need to apologize again, actually.
I think
I really dropped the ball on this one,
you
guys.
come to that realization.
Oops. Oh, we should have. Oh.
So we could have done the tether. We would have had time, maybe.
We actually had a chance still.
I think you all do start to feel the fear set in a little bit, though. And you think about, well, if we're here now, who knows how long we're going to be here? And you had that thought, Devin, about like, is there a way to tether us all together besides our hands? Because at some point it could be just unrealistic if you have to lie down to sleep, set up a camp for the night, for the Not night, you don't
Yeah.
see the sun, but if you just get too exhausted to go on at some point.
It sounds like we're lost in time or something. That miner had a tether on him. Presumably that was from before when we entered the tunnels. Which I know the implication is, yeah, if we become untethered, then we lose each other.
You feel the kid is like shaking with fear a little bit and isn't saying anything.
Kid, I know you're afraid, and we're all so afraid, but fear can be a strength, and we should use that right now to hold still in ourselves and figure out what we need to do.
The kid looks between the three of you, turning his head as he does.
I won't let us not be okay.
I have some rope. If we want to take a minute here to break and get each other tethered up.
The kid nods his bulbous head. Okay, yeah. And you all spend a minute getting tied to each other while trying to maintain handholds at all time until you are all tethered together, grounded to each other. And you all can move on and keep exploring. Over the period of a few days, you walk through this place. You eventually have to make a makeshift camp. You can't really make a fire down here. You don't have supplies to gather things to burn. As you walk along during the waking hours, you try to keep hands held together. You're still hearing things, you're still seeing flashes of things. As you're going through with all these crisscrossing paths and you're seeing these things for moments or hearing something, I want you to think of a mirror maze or a house of mirrors. As you're walking, things change and shift and you can't quite see right what you were trying to, but you're catching like the view of somebody's boot or something as they were walking around a corner out of view, the sound of somebody talking to themselves for just a second before it's hushed out and you can't hear anymore, flashes of a face or an eye or something as you're just walking through this changing place. After a few days, give me a group investigation check for what you've seen.
5.
12.
10.
As you're walking through this place, the electric torches stay fully charged, their batteries never diminishing. Neil, your fuel cell stays fully charged, never diminishing. Devin and Avis, you have to break to eat food and drink water. You guys have limited supplies. In your investigation and looking around these tunnels, you find maybe somebody's pack discarded. There's not personal identifying information. There's nothing of emotion there. Some food and water to add to your stash. And you're getting a little nervous as you're just walking and walking and walking, not seeing a light at the end of any tunnel, not seeing any pattern in the way things are changing, not figuring anything else out further. Until probably on the 4th day of being in here, you all have settled down around the electric torches, taken out your bedrolls, had a little bit of food. You think you probably have like a couple weeks of supplies left, maybe 3 weeks of supplies left in all of your packs combined. You're not down to dire straits yet, but you're just looking at the finite amount of resources that you have as you're all sitting together, getting ready to get some rest. Avis, one thing you do notice over the course of the few days that you point out to people sometimes is sometimes in these larger areas where there's enough room to lay down, there's something that catches your eye in the ceiling sometimes, in the rock above your head. This black rock is uniform and there isn't much identifying it. It's very matte and very dark. Sometimes it's hard to see how it shapes itself or where the depth is. Sometimes in the ceiling, there'll be a little glimmer of something that catches your eye as you stop and point it out. Sometimes there are little like pools of silver reflective something in the ceiling. It looks like how a puddle might pool in the floor beneath your feet if there was water here filling the crevices, but inverted, clinging to the ceiling, opposite direction. And it's reflective perfectly. It's almost like a mirror. You can see yourselves in it, looking back at you. Nothing looks too strange or odd. If you try to move towards it, if Neil tries to get up there, if somebody tries to reach for it, it just kind of like goes out of view like a mirage. Those appear sometimes. You're not sure if that lends itself to anything useful or what it means for the rest of this because it's unclear. But while you guys are hunkered down here on the 5th day of traveling, you are all sitting around after just having had some food, Devin and Avis. There's one of those little pools of silver, of reflective whatever in the ceiling. It's not like rippling or moving or roiling or anything. It's very still, like still water. And you're all maybe talking or just spending time in silence thinking about what's going on. Stepping out of nothing all of a sudden and stopping in their tracks is the stranger. Abrupt, unannounced, unexpected, suddenly standing amongst you. They look just as surprised as you are, and they stop moving, stock still, legs straight, doesn't take any more steps.
How close are they?
If you're all sitting in a little group, they're probably only 6 or 7 feet away from all of you, and they stop moving. They look closer to the regular human form that you had seen, Devin.
Mm-hmm.
Their skin might look like it has a little tinge of blue, but it's not that solid blue glowing. Their hair just looks dark and normal, and they look surprised to see all of you. And then that kind of goes away from their face, and they just look like they're trying to be reassuring, like putting on a smile, and they raise a little hand and wave at all of you and say, "Hello. Sorry to intrude on all of you. Didn't mean to, you know."
I'm gonna like reach out my hand and say, "Quick, grab on so we don't get separated."
They're probably, if they reach out their hand towards yours, like maybe a foot out of reach or something. It's not clear that you could grab their hand or they could grab yours without moving. And based on your experience, there's just the risk that that could make you both be suddenly in different areas or something.
Okay.
Do they recognize us?
They don't look that surprised. There seems to be some recognition in their eyes, which are normal, have normal sized pupils, brown eyes. And they say, "Have we met before? Have you seen me around at all?"
In here or elsewhere?
"Have you met me elsewhere?" You see they look a little taken aback.
Yes, when I took the elevator, I met you on the shore.
They shake their head and say, "That's interesting. Not sure what version of me that might have been. I don't know how long you've been down here or what you've experienced. I have met versions of you before."
How did they answer this question?
Things get muddled after being here for a very, very long time.
Okay.
I haven't had any very negative experiences, if that's what you're worried about.
So how long have you been down here?
Let's just call it years, Neil. I stopped keeping track after a certain point. How long have you all been down here? What do you know about this place? They, without moving from their position, without picking up their feet, kind of fold down into a cross-legged seated position and are seated with all of you now. And you see after they ask that question, they reach into a pack that they have on their back and pull out what looks like a battery-powered electric space heater or something and turn it on, and you all feel some warmth come into this place. And they motion to it and say, I was pretty lucky to find this in a random pack some time ago. It's very nice to feel some warmth down here.
We've only been down here for several days at this point.
That's crazy. You just got here?
Pretty much, I guess.
Did you know what was going to be down here when you came the first time? However long ago that it was?
No. No, I did not, Neil. You said you met me on shore, Devin. Sometime in the past?
Yeah, when we came down here through the elevator, we each had separate visions. And I spoke to some version of you there.
You met me, though, then when I arrived here to this continent. A version of me that I arrived here. So you saw what the world was like where I'm from. When I'm from, I should say. And they crack a smile.
Believe so, yes.
But why are you down here?
I'm not sure what kind of conversation you had with me, that version of me, Devin. My mind is a little frazzled. Being here for so long, I know that it's affecting me, so I apologize if there's any quirks. I came here because there were legends from my parents, from people in our community, about how everything fell apart, about the group that found something here at the bottom of the world that could control time. When we lost my brother, I set out on an expedition to come here. I didn't have anything left. My parents had been gone for a while by that point, and I wanted to see if I could find something down here. I was having visions as I got closer, like something was leading me here. Not sure, couldn't give you more information, but that's why I came down here, because I knew there was potentially something very powerful. You all must have come for a similar reason.
We're here because the version of you that we met sent us far forwards in time. We just want to get home.
They sent you forwards in time?
They did.
You see they cross their arms a little bit. I think that's something along the lines of what happened to the other ones. I can't remember anymore. It's all fuzzy. Can't remember how many years ago that was. I'm trying to figure out if there's some kind of secret to this place or how to control what it controls. I've got theories. I've talked to versions of myself before, been given more information, given help when I can. I've met versions of myself that were at the end of their rope, gave me their supplies. I've met versions of myself that had been here far, far longer than even I have. And they hadn't figured anything out yet, but they had ideas. We all seem to have come down for similar reasons. I don't know how this branching timeline stuff works, but the version of like alternate realities where like there's a different version of you that's like the opposite of you or whatever, I don't know if that's true for things that are so close together or whatever, because we all seem to have similar experiences. You seem like you've had a similar experience to the versions of you that I met before, so we're all trying to do the same thing. I sent you forward in time, though. Did I say anything about it? Was there a reason?
Presumably, you sent us here so we can eventually go back and prevent all of this from happening.
It's weird. My plan was if I could figure this place out, I would prevent it all from happening. Stop whoever found this place, whoever tried to use this power to their bidding in any way that I could with whatever I figured out down here. Here's what I've figured out with talking to myself, versions of myself, Any amounts of information I can find in packs scattered along the way, or voices in the distance, or I think I'm trying to stop a group called the United. I think this timeline stuff is like re-emerging patterns. I don't know, or all the branches that are closer together are like similar compared to what might be further out. But the United seems to be using the powers they got here to mess with time in a way that leads to their control on any and every branch. And the main one, my main one, I don't know which one is the main one, but whichever one the branches all connect to, it's like a parasite or something attacking from all angles. They're killing people in the past and the present, but that doesn't make sense, because when people saw people die in the past, according to my parents, they would just die. But I think it's because they're killing people now in their branch and in the past in a different one, closing in on all branches, working subconsciously. I don't think it's intentionally together, but to exert control over all. I think in all these different versions of me that I've talked to, we're all trying to figure out how to make our way down the branches to whatever this place is, whatever the power here is, to stop it. It sounds like you guys, or at least this version of you guys, does want to stop it too.
Of course we do.
If we don't, then what was it all for?
The kid kind of scooches closer to you, Avis. He hasn't said anything. He's being very reserved right now. Hila says, I don't know what this place is, so I don't know if I can help you guys out anymore. I don't know if there's some trick to this place, or if there's a secret at the heart of the maze, or if there's some kind of way to, I don't know, some kind of way to control the power of this place. I can feel it and see it changing me a little, right? My skin looks a little off color.
Yeah, the version of you that sent us here, that effect was more pronounced.
Wow. Well, it's only gotten this kind of tinge after years and years of being down here, so who knows how long they were down here searching.
To be honest, that's not very reassuring. Me and Avis, we don't have years.
Yes.
Did you also meet versions of us where we had passed?
Come to think of it, no. I don't think I've ever seen a body down here.
So we always find a way out.
They put on a soft smile and don't react much other than that.
Can I roll like insight or something? Do they believe something else?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a 15.
Yeah, they're for sure withholding information.
Dude.
This dude.
Smiling at us.
You don't agree?
I think I met some versions of yourself as well that were at the end of their rope. I don't think that something is keeping you or I alive. I still eat. I find myself being pushed further along by different versions of myself who are done down here or finding supplies, making my own way, but I don't have any delusions that it could last forever. It doesn't always end well. But I don't think there's much I can do to help you all, like I said. But I believe that you all have just as much a chance as me to... Hila is interrupted mid-sentence as rushing around the corner and knocking into them, pushing them out of view as they disappear and move from where they were. Their space heater still on the ground. Is you, Devin, and you, Avis, and you, Neil, tied together at the waist as they stop in their tracks and look at all of you. You see they look gaunt. They look thin. They have worn down eyes, deep bags. You and Avis, at least, that version of Neil looks the same as this version of Neil. Devin, your face that you're looking at has scraggly beard, stubble.
I shaved.
Or
you never.
grow a beard.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay. You know what?
You didn't magically skip to having a super long beard, maybe.
Okay. You know what? Makes more sense.
Perhaps.
It makes more sense.
But
As
no kid.
As this different version of you and this different version of Avis lock eyes with their corresponding parts, you don't see the kid. As Devin, you see this version of yourself looking back and forth between the four of you seated on the ground, and he says, "You guys again." And Neil, taking up the rear of the group of three, standing still in front of you all now, peers over behind from Devin and Avis and says, "Hello, Neil. Got room for 3 more?" And that's where we'll end this episode of Fire and Smoke, New Ronne. If you want to keep up with the show, you can follow us on our Instagram or TikTok at Fire and Smoke Podcast. If you're liking what you're hearing, please leave us a nice review on whatever application you're using to listen to the show.
Baba, please smash the like button.
Yeah.
Papa, thumbs up. And
Click
ring
the
that
bell.
And ring that bell. And don't forget to ring that bell, Papa.
Sorry, go ahead. Anyone have anything to like to say after the episode?
Oh, yeah, you got it. You got it.
Yeah.
Anybody have
There we
anything they want
go.
to say at the end of the episode?
Yeah. I can't believe that Philip is actually going to do the bit where we have to pick who's the real one.
He's doing it.
we found
the real
versions of
one.
ourselves.
We are real and we are tethered.
Oh,
Oh, we're
already
tethered.
tied
That's
together.
true.
I
It's gonna
guess
be
that was
hard.
something.
It's gonna be.
We could get untethered.
He could do it.
Yeah,
He could bring it in. We
No,
could tether to each
don't
other.
do it.
He'd be like, and then some guy runs around another space-time corner holding scissors and accidentally runs directly
No.
between you two.
Scissors, underground tunnels.
And that's why you don't run with scissors.
And that's why you don't run with
Oh.
scissors.
Fun house
us.
like mirror.
Us.
When you say the funhouse mirror, dude, it just takes me back to us and it's scary.
Yeah.
They're so
Oh.
scary.
It's scary. It's a scary
No,
place.
no,
You
but
guys are
down
stuck
here in
in
the
a
tunnels
scary
is not
place.
scary, though.
You're not scared
but
at all?
we're here in the tunnels.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
not scary. The tunnels are chill.
Honestly, Philip, I like the maze or whatever you want to call it. Very
It's
cool,
freaky,
very
right?
very cool design.
Papa's Labyrinth.
Very cool to just
Oh.
be literally,
So I'm Papa?
literally like
You're
lost.
The TM is really kind of like a big Papa figure for the
For
table.
the
No.
smaller papas.
Yeah,
Very-
they're
very-
sub Papas.
Very cool to actually just be lost in time, but all in the same space.
That's
You
why
gotta-
when we say Papa, can I have advantage? We do that all the time. He's probably been cutting it out this whole time. We've been doing it since episode 1.
Yeah. Episode 1, the Devil at Gold Basin, you guys were calling me Papa, and I said, no, let's cut all that out.
Remember,
every
like
time.
3 episodes, he made me get out of my chair and go beg on my knees and say, "Please, Papa."
What are you talking
Whoa,
about?
I do.
That's
remember that.
elevating the bit way too fast.
You did
That's
go 0 to
insane.
90 there.
You went 0 to 90.
Well, now we can go back down to 0
That's not usually how it
That's
works,
not how
though.
it works.
and then stay at 0.
That's not how it works either.
Why not?
No more jokes from here on out. We're staying
No
at 0.
more bits.
Okay, we're at 0.
Okay, Papa.
Frankly, I thought there was some good use of dice rolling in the tabletop RPG today.
Yeah.
And some narration. I thought a lot of the formal elements were working for me.
And good use of leaving out dice rolls if you guys weren't thinking about it. I didn't have you guys roll for the tether thing at all.
But you know what? We held hands.
You decided what the tethers were for, and I was like, all right. And you're seeing there's like this edge where the activity stops, and they were just going right on the edge from this point to the elevator. And you guys were like, yep, forward we go. Let's
In
step through.
hindsight, I understand what you're trying to convey. In our defense, there's no way we could have made a tether long enough to do anything substantial.
We don't know that.
We would have had to tether each
I
other
agree.
together and get lost in the maze anyway.
We could have lassoed Elo.
There's also someone already in the maze who had a tether that got cut.
Oh, were they cut?
Yeah.
I saw it as they were actually tethered to somewhere. and they just like saw us as they were doing their job.
They looked gone.
No, I said
They
so many
said
times
cut.
that it got
Okay.
cut, and
Yeah.
he was
I,
like,
guys,
Saw us,
I
and their eyes lit
completely
up and
missed
started
it.
running towards us.
I completely missed it.
the implication there was one of the miners who was sent down here, and the reason this place was so dangerous is because like if you went too far, whoops, something happened to your line, you're toast, man.
That's true.
I genuinely like. I'll be kind of scared tonight, just thinking about like the tunnel and people disappearing and people looking dead. Or
It was very spooky.
Oh yeah.
To an extent,
It would
you
get
solved the scenario a lot by being like, we're stepping off the elevator holding hands, and we're not letting go of holding hands, and we're all going to stay together. And you didn't even get lost separated for any amount of time.
That's true.
You like,
You would have
you
had
got
us,
me.
You would have had us get lost and then meet different versions of other people.
Oh, can you imagine?
it's like the movie. It's like the movie where they go outside and they come back.
I'm shrugging my shoulders. Who knows what would have happened? But you guys held hands and you figured out that, hey, this place is changing based off of where we're going. We're not letting go of each other. So
Yeah.
you got me. Are we forgetting about anything? Or are we good to...
Yeah, where's Eric?
I forgot to tell you guys. He was busy. Yeah.
Doing what?
Doing what?
I think he was doing like volunteer firefighting or something. And there was this wild turkey that got stuck up in a tree. And he had to go rescue it, but he got stuck too. It's a whole ordeal. They've got so many ladder trucks around trying to get him down, but he's climbing higher because he's scared. But he said, hopefully, he was texting me about it and saying, I'm climbing higher because I'm scared. I don't know what, to do. And he's climbing higher and they're like having a problem getting him down. But hopefully if they figure that out, he'll be here next time for D&D.
But he is texting you though. Like he is aware that it's a problem, but he's climbing higher.
Yeah, he's like, but I'm scared. And then he climbs higher. He's like, I just went up 10 more feet. Shit. And then he keeps doing that. There's like a bunch of back and forth on that. And I'm telling him, just let the firefighters bring you down. And he says, what if they're not friendly? And then he climbs higher.
Philip, just please get him here because we need him to help us through this maze.
It's going to be all good. Don't even worry about it. All right.
Slay, po,